On down or come on up, however you want to look at it. I was just listening to several of the Tic Tok unbelievers, and as usual, nothing but village idiots. So we're looking for non-village idiot skeptics, people who just don't sit there and spout the same, "Rod, there's no evidence for God." Yeah, that cliche doesn't work. So we'll wait and see. Maybe it'll be like as it usually is, where morons coming up. I would rather that we had intelligent people to converse with and debate. TikTok is not sending their finest. Thank you for the lives. It's hysterical when these people still identify as atheists, and yet they'll go, "Oh, well, there's no evidence for God," and then they pull the incredulity card. "Oh, I'm unconvinced." Then why are you calling yourself an atheist? I mean, it doesn't get any more dumb than that. Okay? We have a perfectly good word for those who claim that they're unconvinced, and that's agnostic. But they want to identify as an atheist because they know what it means in the English language. They're denying God. But then they, like little 14 and 15-year-olds at the cafeteria table, redefine the word. It's called a Motte-and-Bailey fallacy. They're identifying with denying God, but then they redefine it. "Oh, I'm just unconvinced. My atheism constitutes a mental state that's absent a positive belief in God." Motte-and-Bailey fallacy. Well, that's all they got, because it's impossible to falsify God. There is no living person, no one in the past or the future, that could falsify God. It cannot be done. Just for those of you in the audience, I do not allow trolling in my chat. If you troll, you will be muted. If you attempt to antagonize me, and it's clear that's what you're doing, I will instantly block your account. I do not tolerate trolling on my chat. If you want to respectfully disagree, you may do so. Troll, you're going to get muted. Antagonize, and you are going to get blocked. And you should see my block list. So once again, we'll wait and see. It's amazing how many atheists, skeptics, even self-proclaimed agnostics are afraid to come in and intelligently discuss it, because they know their cliches and slogans simply don't hold up upon examination. They don't work. They're pathetic. Telling me there's no evidence for God is a claim that you're going to have to support, every much as if somebody says there is evidence for God. But the moment you ask them, "Please defend your statement, there's no evidence for God," they go, "You're shifting the burden of proof." No, I'm not. I'm asking you to explain your position. How dumb can one be that when one makes a bold, universal, unqualified statement that there's no evidence for God, and you ask them to explain that, and they go, "You're shifting the burden of proof"? I mean, it doesn't get any dumber than that. But then again, the whole skeptic community is just chock full of cliches and slogans that are just simply moronic and are not intellectually supportable. Okay. Welcome. Are you an atheist?
Yeah, I don't really label myself. I'm not a Christian, though.
Well, an atheist is
I'm
somebody
Jewish.
who
All right, there you
refuses
go.
to
I'm Jewish.
acknowledge God, okay? And an atheist is somebody who does not affirm and assert that God is. So do you affirm and assert that God
Yeah,
is?
yeah, yeah. I believe in a creator, deity, all that stuff.
Well, yeah.
Just Jewish conceptions are a little different than Christian conceptions, and I hear it a lot. Anyway, I was going to ask you, somebody in the chat, I know you're driving, so you're probably not reading it. Somebody in the chat had a good point. I totally believe that there's a creator God, whatever. I'm fine with tag, I'm fine with all that stuff. I got it. All that stuff. I got it.
Do you know where tag came from?
No, I actually don't.
Okay, tag had its origination at Julius Van Til, a Christian theologian. So when we talk about God, we're just trying to be brief and succinct. We what we call the transcendental argument for Christian theism, or TACT. Okay,
Yeah.
so all other conceptions of God that don't have the property set of the Christian God, simply you will not have a perfect God.
When you say Christian God, do you include like Jesus in that, or are you just talking like good old,
The
like
Christian God
Father?
is triune. He is
Okay.
one being, a unified being, and within the unity of his being, there is a plurality of seats of intellect that we call persons: the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. So when you deny one or more of the properties of the Christian God, it results in an imperfect God. So, for example, a Unitarian God who is not Trinitarian cannot be perfect. He cannot have all great making properties. He can't actualize love or exemplify love before creation. He cannot be maximally a personal being. He would be a deficient personal being because he couldn't actualize relationality, which is integral to being personal. Would you agree that human beings are intrinsically relational?
Yep.
Okay, so to be personal would entail relationality. A Unitarian God cannot effectuate or actualize relationality until it creates other beings to relate to. So a Unitarian concept of God, as opposed to the Trinitarian concept of God, makes God imperfect. You understand? And he flees.